The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw Dating, preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Hey, what's up, Cowboys Nation? Happy Tuesday. Welcome in to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys in the SWBC studio. We got Aisha Morrison in the studio, Bonnie Jill Laughlin in the studio,
What's up?
Christy Scales in the studio. What's up? How y'all doing today?
Still getting over that.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday's like, it's like
It's like a Monday on
23. It's like 32. Like after you turn 30, everybody make a big deal. And then 32, they like, well, happy birthday.
Sheesh, I ain't there yet, so
That's what it feel like.
I'm gonna thank the Lord for that
That's
one.
very normal. Oh, my bad.
It was your birthday this weekend too, so happy birthday.
Thank
Oh, it was
you.
your birthday?
Yes, it was.
Oh, that's why you're alluding to that. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
Yes, but I also was, it really feel like, Tuesday just feel like, I don't care about Tuesday.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine, you know.
Do you feel,
sweet.
do you
It's
feel
the
older?
players' day off, right? It's the rest and rejuvenation.
It is.
It's like, and then tomorrow hit the ground running and get ready. So
I'm just dreading it because I had to look at film today. It's hard. It's just hard. But I feel,
Okay.
I don't feel, she asked me if I feel older. No.
Well, because me and Chrissy were talking about when you turn 40, you lose your eyesight. So,
don't
like
think-
the next day.
just the up close stuff,
Right.
everything becomes
Same.
Your arms become shorter,
Like
You know,
menus.
You can't read.
Yeah.
Have to
And you
hold
read
it
the
out
menus
further.
at the restaurants and you're like turning on your flashlight.
Yeah, who hit the dimmer switch? Right.
Oh my goodness.
Prepare.
Yeah,
I
just saying.
do not want to. All right, ladies. Okay. Cowboys, 49ers. We still got to take a look back at that matchup. I know they take on the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday, but still got to rewind a little bit just to preview. Look at this defense. We took a look at the offense yesterday, what went right, what went wrong. Defensively, let's start with the front seven evaluations. How would you assess the way that those guys perform? First, I'll start with you, Christy.
Oh, the run defense is still, not good.
Yeah.
And then just the lack of pass rush. And I thought it was very telling. After we finished the show yesterday, we heard from the coordinators and we heard from Mike McCarthy. And Mike Zimmer, he said as much, that the lack of pass rush has affected his play calling. And when you can't get pressure with just your front four, when you're having to send a fifth person on the pass rush,
Leaves the back end vulnerable.
it leaves the back end, and especially those crossing routes. And so that's something that we've talked about. That's been a point of conversation earlier in the season. It's like, what's the deal with letting everybody run free with those crossing routes? Well, when it's vacant there because you're sending guys up to try and help with the pass rush. So it's a domino effect,
Yes.
and it has to improve. Obviously, don't know if Micah is going to be back yet this week. But without him, and of course D-Law still on injured reserve, the lack of pass rush is just killing this team.
Yeah, and the lack of pass rush, you're seeing all these elite pass rushers. We're just having, trouble with that a lot. We're talking about the offensive line as well. But defensively, obviously, if you look at the 245 passing, 220 yards on the ground, the 4-3 defense, they got to be better up front. But with injuries and not having depth, what do we do? Mm-hmm. That's the problem I have. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, we saw Zimmer come out and try to do some things to stop the run. Is that me? Just to stop the run. And that was just like those 6-man fronts. Mm-hmm. I feel like it was efficient to start the game. Like it was helpful. I don't think it was unexpected to San Fran as well because they hadn't seen the Cowboys do that to that point. Found some success there. But once they figured out, like, we just going to play action behind you, it got rough, for the Cowboys. And I empathize for Mike Zimmer in a sense of kind of what is happening. You can't bank on losing 4 edge rushers, your starters.
That's why you can't put it all on Zim.
Yeah, you can't bank on that. Like there's no way to plan for that. And to Christy's point, you're missing the pass rush, but you are missing the run defense as well. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, one of the best edge defenders against the run in the NFL, and also too Micah Parsons despite the fact the rest of the team has been struggling with the run, he had been better in the run this year to start. So it's just a tough spot to be in. We ain't even talking about the linebackers. I think that DeMarvion Overshown is really starting to get a feel for the position, and he's kind of learning more as things go on. I think there is a difference also too that Eric Kendricks was on the field, and you see him just being a little bit more sure and things like that. Thought he made some really good plays, but the linebacker core in general, with what's happening with the defensive tackles, I mean, there were a couple plays where the defensive tackles started on one side of the formation and were on the whole other side of the formation. It was insane to see in real time again. So it's just only so much they can do. I thought they played well as they could, but it's just ugly.
And we know when the defensive line is struggling, sorry, just to add to what you're saying, then you put so much pressure on the secondary and they're struggling. So it's like you said, it's a domino.
Chauncey Golston, though.
I was going to get there.
Chauncey.
I was actually kind of impressed with
it,
what Chauncey Golston actually did. But first, before I want to go back to the pass rush with what Christy had said, because you look at Purdy's numbers, Brock Purdy's numbers, he was blitzed on 13 of his 34 dropbacks, 38.2%, and completed 8 of 12 passes for 110 yards, finished with a 123.6 passer rating when being blitzed. The thing is that teams are having success even when they are bringing that extra person. And so it also makes you wonder, I mean, how do you get pressure? Because
that's
if you're
the
not
problem.
getting pressure with 4, you can't get pressure with 5.
Risk reward with a blitz. Blitz just means you're sending a 5th person or 6th, whatever. Yeah. But if you're sending an extra person, you're creating a vacancy in the back, you know? And so, risk reward, and that's the problem. Yeah. But it ain't getting there with 4.
Yeah.
And the other thing, Purdy, the great numbers that he had, but he also really killed the Cowboys with his legs when he was able to break. When he was able to break contain,
mobile, Christy.
Right. And so when you break contain and things like that, so it has to do with discipline in your pass rush and things like that. So there are a lot of issues with the defense now, and Micah will be back soon, hopefully. D-Law, Deron Bland, we'll see if he's able to practice this week. But the trade deadline is a week from today. But cavalry, if it's coming, it's limited, and so
and that's why the depth is so important.
Exactly.
We don't have it.
Exactly.
Yeah. To answer your question, Nicole. You can't.
That's what we're saying, Nicole.
Yeah. I mean,
there's nothing. And I think I feel like I said this when the season first started, and we started noticing like the inability to get pressure early was like, hey, I don't want to be a team that has to blitz all the time because it puts so much pressure on your secondary. And this secondary is banged up right now. Not necessarily banged up. I mean, you have Trayvon Diggs coming back from the ACL. You also have Amani. Oruwariye. Yes, on the other side. And with respect, your safeties can't cover right now.
No.
So you don't
there
even...
has to be a change there.
It's tough. I don't really have a whole bunch of fancy words to say. This is a really tough situation to be in because there's no quick fix, and I don't know if there's a fix in general because you lose something to gain something each thing that you try to do.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and especially with Jerry Jones saying he doesn't want to do anything before the trade deadline, so there's not really. This is our team. This is it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what frustrates you, though, because this is a team that thrived off getting pressure last year.
And turnovers.
Yes. And it's like, how do you have success defensively? Like you just said, you can't.
Yeah,
And
because the two things are tied together. And I know we're going to talk about takeaways and the turnover ratio in a little bit, but it's hand in hand. What's a cornerback or defensive back's best friend and the best way for them to get a takeaway? It's when the quarterback is under duress and you're getting good pass pressure on him. And so it's not a surprise that the takeaways are down because there's a lack of pressure on the quarterback.
There's no duress. There is absolutely no duress. He's back there chilling. as a lot of these quarterbacks have been,
Yeah, a
where
lot
they
of
just
time,
have
yep.
so much time. I would argue he had too much time sometimes.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, and he's known for holding the ball too long. We know that, Purdy, but this was art working out.
Yeah, when you talk about the turnover ratio, I'll go to Christy first with this one. The 49ers with 2 takeaways, almost 4 if you think about it. Why is this team struggling so much with getting takeaways, Christy?
With the defense getting the
Defense,
takeaways,
yes.
yeah. So the lack of pass rush, and then there have been a few times where the ball's been on the ground and they just hadn't gotten it. So I was looking at comparing the numbers to last year through 7 games, and right now the Cowboys defense entering after 7 games has only 5 takeaways. I said only 5 takeaways. They had 5 in like 2 weeks last year. At this time last year, the Cowboys had 13 takeaways. 9 of them were interceptions.
Crazy.
And so right now you have 4 interceptions and just 1 fumble recovery. So I think that, when you get Micah back and D-Law eventually, I think that should help with the pass rush and putting that quarterback under duress. But until then, man, it's hard. Like we were saying, if you blitz, then you're exposing that secondary even more. So, or linebackers, you're opening up holes in the field. And Kirk Cousins is an experienced veteran who, even though it's his first year with Atlanta, a little bit of experience with that receiving core, they should be able to recognize those hot reads, So if you blitz, it's a risky thing against a veteran quarterback like Cousins.
Let me pose this question. If this team can't get pressure, if this team can't get takeaways,
We don't win ball games.
What?
Is that what you're saying?
what are they going to do? Bonnie Joe, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like I feel like I'm chasing my tail. There's not a solution at this point, and you can't blame it all on Zim because you've got all these injuries and we have no depth. I mean, I'm like reiterating myself, but it's the same thing over again. Then you've got some guys that it's youth and they're growing pains, so you can't rush them. So it just ends up being. I do think at the safety position that we do need to make with Wilson have to make a change. Malik, I think he's doing the best. I feel like they're both doing the best at their potential, but that's it. So maybe try these younger guys with Bell and stuff and see if that works. They can't do any worse.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm gonna be. I don't know who's gonna defend Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Because you used to be able to put a safety on him. You can't now. I don't see that being there. So that's. Don't stress me out. Don't stress me out, Bonnie.
Yeah, I just wonder, Mukwamu played more last week, and not just when he came in the second half after Owarrior hurt his back, but they were doing some packages where they had Mukwamu and then even Bell got some time as well. So what do you think about that potential matchup?
I noticed that.
In particular with Pitts, because I'm not saying that Kyle Pitts is George Kittle, because no one is George Kittle but
Absolutely.
Kittle. But there's still, he has the potential to be the real playmaker in this game on Sunday, and with that big body, 6'6", looks like an Adonis out there, the perfect prototype for a tight end, and with some yards after catch, and if he gets the yards after catch like Kittle did, that's really going to be tough on Sunday.
I think you need a guy who's a short tackler, and that's something that we saw out of Israel Mukwamu this summer in training camp. And right now, I haven't seen that out of Malik Hooker. I haven't seen that out of Dono. We kind of talked about the safety position last week, where Aisha had mentioned that in this system, you've got to be able to cover, and you've also have to be able to come down and tackle. But I think that maybe they're asked too much in this system, or asked of too much. Do y'all think so?
I 100% believe that. And this, again, I think that we might have gotten things a little misconstrued with how excited the players seemed after at training camp and stuff about the Zimmer system. Because it is, specifically for the safety position, it is a little bit more complex than what Dan Quinn's system called for safeties to do. I thought that they did things in a nickel, but as far as like the scheme, like the Cowboys did not play a lot of too high last year in Dan Quinn's system. That's a new feel. That's a new thing.
Is that
That's
why
a new stuff.
Wilson? Is that why Wilson struggles? Is because of
That's
Yeah.
a big difference in the scheme thing. But I will say that I think that they are, like I said, I think that we kind of misconstrued how this change would be for these players and what it's the difference in the coaching staff is and how they approach things and stuff like that. It's very normal to have acclimation periods. It's very normal to have time to where you need to adjust to what the new things you're being coached. We see a lot of guys like, I don't believe that people just forget how to tackle.
That's facts.
The Cowboys under Dan Quinn were the best tackling teams in the NFL. You still have so many of those guys still on this team. I don't know how that happens. So I think that maybe guys are second guessing themselves. Maybe guys are confused.
Is it
or
because
whatever
remember
the case may be.
Jazzy mentioned that she thought maybe because the rules are constantly changing that the guy's not sure about tackling or what? Remember she mentioned that
No,
maybe
I
they're
remember her
confused about the
mentioning that.
wraparound tackling and maybe they can't do that. And
I think
so
that
every
you
season
can't
it
use that as an
changes.
excuse because
Yeah, I don't think
other
so. Everyone else
teams
has
are
figured
having
out.
issues. They've had it figured out. So it's kind of like,
No, I
do you
just
do?
think to answer your question, I do think that's the philosophy changes and some of the things that changes are taking some time for the guys to grasp and the new responsibilities. There's new responsibilities in general. So, sure. But to answer your original question, as far as
What was the original question?
the turnovers. Now y'all should probably ADHD should be able to be
I'm over here like,
back.
hold up. What was it again? No, I'm just
It was in regard to the how do they get turnovers? Is that what you said?
Yes.
No, I
Or
was
how-
asking,
How does the defense get the takeaway?
There we go.
Oh, where do they get
My
them?
bad. No. Yeah. My bad.
Or they're asking too much of them.
Boom.
There we go.
I lost track
There's a
a
lot.
little bit.
I know so did I.
They're also not getting turnovers because they ain't got a chance to. Like,
Yeah.
Golson had a chance. That could have been a pick six.
yeah,
but just saying.
yeah. They got to catch them when they see them
Yeah.
because they keep doing that. But I do think they haven't got a chance to because they have people run the ball on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's they're not getting the opportunity to rush the passer like that.
Yeah.
So it's just a recipe for McDisaster until they figure something out. I'm
McDisaster.
serious. Like,
Disaster is crazy.
I wanted to see if Zimmer was going to be able to find ways to manufacture pressure. We saw him bring DeMarion Overshown off the edge.
Had a sack.
He didn't really do a whole bunch with the interior this game, but like his hands are tied. Just like Mike McCarthy's hands are tied in a sense with what's going on with his offensive line and what and the guys that he don't have on the receiving end, and also too Jake Ferguson's not 100%. Like it's a lot of things going on within this team that are not like controllable.
Yes, exactly. There's not a solution.
There's not. I don't have one. I normally can dig deep in the well and be like, well, you maybe can do that. I ain't got no carrying twos or nothing for you.
Who do you feel would be best? I feel like, because my first question was, are they being asked too much as far as the safeties?
Yeah.
Who do you feel could possibly come in and make an impact? What changes do you feel like could be made at the safety position?
I think
Joe,
Marquise
Christy,
Bell is
which
fit.
one?
I think Marquise Bell's fit.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
The time that he spent at linebacker, invaluable. Like, it might have sucked for him in certain instances, but for him to learn the line of scrimmage the way that he did, and granted, like, we did see his size be a factor and things like that, but one thing he did show us is that he could tackle, and he would be sound in his gap integrity. He might have got moved out of the gap, but I'm telling you, he knew his reads.
Yeah.
On the other side of things, he is a safety, and he was one of the best safeties covering tight ends last year. So I want to see, I would like to see him get a shot.
So,
I feel the same.
yeah, put Bell against Kyle Pitts.
I would like to see him get
And
a shot.
that's the thing, last year, and it was Dan Quinn, partly because of circumstances. Remember the injury to Leighton Vander Esch, and they didn't have enough healthy linebackers to get through a game, and we saw a lot of dime last year. Extra
Dime
defensive
and
backs,
nickel.
6 defensive backs. Nickel means 5 defensive backs. Dime means 6 because you have 2 nickels, makes a dime. But that was by necessity because of injury situations at linebacker, and that's why Marquise Bell was out. He was actually playing linebacker,
Yeah.
but they were doing things differently last year compared to Zimmer
Yes, ma'am.
and what they're doing this year. But again, it's all by out of necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention, and that's why you had Bell playing linebacker
He's
last
got
year.
he got like a hybrid impact, I think,
Yeah.
where he can play a little bit both. So I think that could help. Aisha's not sold on this.
I don't know. I don't know. Was KJ Henry out there?
KJ Henry did play,
a little
yes.
bit,
A little
so.
bit.
Yeah, there was a time. So one of the rotations, we
was this
basically have two different defensive lines that go out there and play. And so one of the rotations, the four defensive linemen out there were Tyrus Wheat, who's a third string guy, and the other guys were not on the team midway through training camp. It's Linval Joseph, Carl Lawson, and KJ Henry.
I forgot
KJ
Phillips
Henry.
isn't out there,
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, let's go ahead and take our first break.
Oh, goodness.
You're listening to Girls Talk Boys Talk presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys. We'll be right back.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that 6th ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey's sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE. Dibs on the ribs.
Here we go. Cowboys Now App. Stay connected with the Dallas Cowboys on your connected TV. Catch up on all Cowboys content, live player interviews, weekly TV shows, podcasts, docuseries like Deep Blue, and much, much more. Download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV.
Go ahead and download it. We need to bring some energy to the show.
I literally
Depression.
We're on Roku?
I think it's more depression. That's what it says. Yeah, it says a Roku.
Roku, Apple, all right.
Yeah.
We got it
That's
all.
fantastic.
Come
I
on,
know.
Roku.
Yeah.
Come on.
Energy. I need a little something.
We have energy. I
I-
think it's a little bit sadness.
I'm awake.
I don't need no sadness over here.
I'm not sad.
Don't need it. Don't need it. All right, ladies. Real fast. Not real fast. We got like 20 minutes left. I know we were speaking about the defense. Do y'all believe that this system fits this personnel best?
Christy?
Just throw it up there. Whoever wants to catch that.
Once you get people back healthy. So, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be a no for me, though. I agree with you.
Well, I mean, should areas have been upgraded? Should they have gone deeper at defensive tackle?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
In hindsight, yes.
The
but-
whole
but
defense is I don't know
there's
how
a
you
budget.
hire. Yeah, I don't know how you hire Mike Zimmer. You don't give him
What you
DTC.
need.
It was room from start.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be mean, but that's his system. So
need
much
bigger
of it
bodies up
is
front.
much of it is contingent on that.
solid
And
front, middle.
Solid front, solid
defensive
middle.
tackles.
Yes, so those linebackers can fly, and not only can the linebackers fly, he normally is so creative with his usage with his linebackers. He can't do a lot of that stuff now. So,
It's a no, for
no, it's no. Everywhere else would be great.
Yeah.
Especially from the corner position and stuff with the talent you have, even though Deron Bland is down and stuff. But Yeah, and then as far as the safety position, we just talked about it. Guys and safeties in his system have to be able to cover.
Yeah.
Hash to hash. And no.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I don't think so. It's not matching up with the personnel and Zim.
Yeah.
But that's why I hate to blame it on Zimmer, though.
All right.
gonna do it.
Something that I did notice, and you mentioned it, how he kind of made adjustments in that game, bringing 6 guys to the line of scrimmage at first, going back to 4-3 defense, 4-3 base. But that was something that he was kind of critiqued about throughout the year, just the lack of adjustments, that mid-game, in-game adjustments that he was willing to do. Would y'all at least consider that a positive to take away? Bonnie, I'll start with you with that one.
Sorry, one more time.
Would y'all consider it being a positive that he did somewhat make in-game adjustments last Sunday against the 49ers?
Yes, of course, because he hasn't the rest of the games. We've noticed that he wasn't adjusting. So I think that was good, but it still didn't get us the dub. So, and they were still struggling on all cylinders. So it doesn't make that much of a difference.
I was happy.
I mean, still seeing what Purdy was doing, and it just Kittle, Debo, everyone. I mean, it's the separation the receivers are getting. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy. I was happy that they tried.
In the fourth quarter, I think they did better.
No, I'm talking about the start of the game.
Yeah, I held them to 2 field goals in the first half.
First quarter and fourth quarter.
But because it wasn't, but it also too wasn't about. And this is how you know that game planning matters, and your players, to me, and some people disagree with it, but I think players are smart enough to look at a plan and say, "Oh, I think this is gonna work." When I was in the military and we used to go on missions, I look at the plan. Sometimes I'd be like, "Listen, dog,
This ain't gonna work.
we gonna end up having this. We gonna end up having to make a detour, go here, go there. That ain't gonna work." I felt like the players came out defensively with some fire to them, with some certainty to them, and there was some rally to the ball and stuff that we haven't seen. So I do think that they believed in that game plan. San Fran had a counter to the counter,
Absolutely.
and so that's this thing. Like, I was pleased that they did go in the well and try to do some things, but Mike Zimmer is working within a very small frame, and so when it was figured out, it's like, well, what else is there to throw at them right now? There was nothing else to throw. And I think you hear some of that defeatism in some of the players, like, well, you see it in their body language. Not that they're like sad, but like, we know that we don't have the guys right now.
Yeah, that's what's hard.
And you don't want, and as an NFL player, I know they don't want to, like, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. They're not asking nobody to feel sorry for them, but I think there is a reality of, like, they know they know
so much,
the secondary knows that they're not getting pressure. They know they're not taking the ball away. They know that they're missing tackles. You know how many times in this game that a safety was literally stopping a touchdown? They know what's going on. So it's like, I don't get mad. I don't get so mad at them when I be seeing them like.
Well, that's why I think you saw Diggs being so frustrated after the game. There's frustration because of all this.
Well, I think the thing is the whole team knows it. And
Facts.
the fact that the offense wasn't able to help the defense
Oh, no, we're gonna
in the
get
third
on
quarter,
we
it
gonna
goes
get
to
to
that
them.
complementary football. I know we're getting ready to talk about offense, but that's part of the thing. They come out and San Francisco's offense is getting better, getting the better of the Cowboys defense in the third quarter, and the Cowboys offense wasn't able to help the defense. The special teams wasn't helping the defense. It was giving the 49ers good field position, kicking the ball out of bounds and putting the ball on the 40. So there's, it all works together. And so when that avalanche started in the third quarter, none of the 3 units were able to stand up and help the other one, right?
The avalanche started in the second quarter.
It did.
When the
Yes,
Cowboys
good
had
point.
that opportunity to go up, because that shifts the game.
Yes,
and if
it
you
did.
watch Brock Purdy play, playing from behind is never been his thing like that. You talk about how you get turnovers, you put pressure on people. And I was looking for the offense. It felt like earlier in the game, and then obviously at the end, I need the offense to take that part seriously, because to me it's not like, it's just like any other, like, even in a friendship, sometimes my best friend, she's tired. When we used to live together with roommates, she'd be like, I ain't got it, sister. I gotta hold it down. Like, that's just how things are. And so when you talk about a complementary sport, a team sport, it's like, okay, y'all know good and well that the defense is, first of all, this is probably the best game that they've played in weeks. as far as a half.
Yeah.
First half,
And
yeah.
y'all have to reward them. It's essential to getting a win, but it also too builds trust
And confidence,
and confidence between each other, that when you're out there, you're gonna make the play.
Yeah.
Or when you're gonna look out for me. And I think that's also plays into Dak's some of these turnovers and some of these decisions. It's like, hey man, that defense was on the Cowboys defense was on the field almost the whole third quarter. Unacceptable.
Almost 12 minutes, 11 minutes and 52 seconds. You had 7 plays
they were
by the
tired,
Cowboys
yeah.
offense.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
But you know what? In the fourth quarter, at the second to last defensive series, they got the stop.
They got the
Yes,
stop.
they did.
Forced the punt,
Yes.
and the offense had the ball 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line with a chance to win the game.
I know, they did.
And
Right there, it's convert.
fourth down, 4 and out.
Yeah,
Not
I
even
know.
a 3 and
I
out,
know.
a 4 and out,
Yeah.
and didn't gain a yard.
At all.
No.
Insane. I'm just.
Oh, I know. I get heated talking about that.
It's frustrating, Nicole, and I know we're gonna get to the offense, but it's like the offense is the defense, or the in some way.
I know what you're saying.
Like they need
The
each
best
other.
defense
Of
is a good
course.
offense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then factor in too, like your special teams didn't help you like that. It just was.
It was rough.
It was rough. So yeah, they need to play better together.
What changes need to be made offensively when you talk about this offensive line? Because you talk about things going hand in hand. I mean, this offense succeeds when this offensive line is able to do their job.
Oh, can I?
Oh, go ahead. I know this was you,
Oh,
Chrissy.
sister.
Go ahead,
No,
sister.
because this isn't my word.
Yeah.
This is Mike McCarthy and
Yeah.
Brian Schottenheimer yesterday.
Oh, yeah, they let it
talking
laid
about
it
the
out.
miscommunication. Now
They keep talking about that,
I think people need to understand something. You go into a game with an offensive script, 15 plays. Now, sometimes situations happen and it may not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 15 plays is scripted. And by the way, that game plan is finalized Tuesday night, and the team knows it Wednesday. They start game plan installation Wednesday morning. Well, here's the thing. Mike McCarthy said in the press conference yesterday, let me put my teacher glasses
She put
on.
the glasses on.
Come on,
About to get real.
Okay. Mike McCarthy said that there were communication errors on plays 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the first drives.
Not you threw the paper.
They have
fed
mama
up.
upset.
Because these are controllable things.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
These are controllable things. Now, and by the way, the communication among the offensive line, this isn't, Aisha's giving me the heart. Y'all know I was going to be a teacher, right? So I'm going to do the teacher classes.
I'm living
I just
for
like-
this.
I like
show.
seeing this.
I'm
Yes.
living for this Saturday right now.
I so am I.
But here's the thing. With the offensive line, they're doing their own communication. Does it start with the center, Cooper Beebe? Yes. Identifying the mic, all those kinds of things. But he's not the only one communicating. And McCarthy pointed out that it's not all on the center. The communication goes in to out. The guards to the tackles to the tight ends and beyond, because they're all part of the pass protection, for example, on a passing play. Same thing with the running backs. They're often helping with pass protection as well. When you are having communication errors 4 times in your first 10 plays, which, by the way, are scripted, which means that you've been practicing them all week,
That's crazy.
that's a serious problem. And it's something that Schottenheimer and McCarthy say, yes, it has to be corrected. Well, it better be corrected this week.
Yeah, that's a
it
focus
has to
thing.
be.
Yeah.
That's a focus thing.
Well, the other thing is sometimes, and Cooper Beebe and Dak Prescott talked about this. I talked with Cooper about it. The thing about having a veteran quarterback, that's great for a rookie center, because Cooper says, if I do make a mistake, Dak can correct it. That's one reason why you want to get the call in from the coach quickly and get to the line of scrimmage quickly, so that Dak can look at everything, so that everyone has time to communicate. So my point is, it's on everybody. Don't just say, oh, they have 2 rookies in the line. Everybody is part of this.
Everybody was struggling at some point in time in that game. I thought it was Tyler Guyton's best game.
So that's what I was going to say. I
played
thought
better.
he played well. It was Terrence Steele's who I was worried about.
No, I mean, and there were several reps where they lined up Bosa over him, and he was able to hold his own. Terrence Steele.
Yeah, he was the problem.
I mean, Zach Martin got some. Tyler Smith got some. He did.
That's
So,
yeah.
listen,
Not used to
yeah.
everybody, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why I'm trying to say it in the most respectful way I can, is like, there's something else going on, because, I mean, Tyler Smith is quite literally like one of the best guards in the NFL. I've never seen him have these type of struggles.
Even Zach.
Some of the things he's struggling with. And even Zach, like, although he's getting older, he's technically sound.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is it?
And the communication, he's one of the smartest offensive linemen you also meet as well. So it's like, I don't know what's going on there, but I will say, like, the pressure coming from the right tackle position is starting to really wear on the quarterback. I'm sick of seeing him get lit up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't this past game, but the game before. You saw he hit his head on someone's helmet, his hand on someone's helmet. I remember that happening week 1 a couple years ago against the Bucks, and we didn't have him for 5 weeks. And it also, too, and even when he came back, it changed how quickly he was releasing the ball to me. It changed how he played through that season. I'm like, we do have to figure out, this is your franchise quarterback now. He's gonna be here for 4 years. This is scaring me as far as what's happening at the tackle position. Even though I felt like Tyler Guyton definitely is showing improve. They did some good things in the run game at the beginning of this game. Thought they showed some different things that they want to do, but I thought they were doing duo, but they weren't. But anyway, yeah, they did some different things in the run game, but I don't, as of right now, it's just.
With what you've seen and how it kind of reflect in Dak's play just the first 8 weeks, has there been a similar season where you've seen, I mean, you kind of already answered the question, but has there been a similar season of, you know, just kind of that lacking of confidence in his offensive line a little bit?
Recent memory? No, I'm flashing back to 20 years ago.
No,
We've
it
had
hasn't
some.
been.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
No.
Oh, yeah, we've seen a lot worse. I think the main thing about it is Dak, for example, on the one interception, the one to Turpin, the safety came over. Turpin, you know, the cornerback's covering Turpin. The ball stays up, and the safety has time to come over and make the interception on the long pass down the left sideline. Well, what had happened was Dak steps to avoid the rush coming from the left side, steps up in the pocket, and gets hit. In fact, took a rib shot as he's delivering the ball. So the timing is already off, and he can't get everything into the throw because it come one side, he goes up here, and it's coming this way. So not an excuse for. I mean, that's what the defense is supposed to do. But Mike McCarthy said yesterday that the lack of pass protection is affecting his offensive play calling, and he said that on his play sheet he took too many of his play calls home with him, meaning that he didn't get to the stuff that he wanted to get to because he couldn't, because they weren't, well, number one, the run game was better, but they still only had, 26 or 22 rushing attempts. It was a low number of rushing attempts, but he can't get to this stuff because they can't give Dak the time. And the other thing is, there were a couple times where, let's say Jalen Brooks, right, who's your 4th or 5th receiver in this game, and he's lining up on the end, kind of like where a tight end would be, and he's helping get a push on a chip. He's helping hit Nick Bosa, helping Terrence Steele, or over on the other side, Guyton. I think this time it was Terrence Steele giving a little push before he releases on a route. So you can't send everybody out in a route when you're having to keep them back for a little short time to help with the pass protection.
Yeah, and if you're noticing, Dak can't even step in because the pocket's already collapsing. And then we see that Dak is normally more mobile, like last season he was. I know Jerry said this morning he doesn't want him running, but it's like he'll take the sack instead of moving.
We know they don't want him, clearly.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it just from last year.
No,
that's something I noticed.
And that's something we talked about. One of my favorite things about Dak Prescott throughout his career is his mobility. And it's not the mobility, it's not the just taking off running, is what he can do on the move, rolling out the pocket. He's been one of the most lethal. You don't see a lot of young quarterbacks be able to roll out to their left and throw dimes. He was able to do that in his rookie year, which was very surprising to me. So and we saw him do some things on the move this past game. Even this past year. But even this past game, you saw him do some. It's just a comfort thing for him. I think that's something he just does well. To your point, he's not doing that as much right now. And so we've been kind of speculating, like, why isn't he running, especially after vocalizing why he's running. I personally think, and this is my opinion, that it's just too much to risk.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Right
When
now.
Jerry said that this morning.
You don't have, holy muffins. You can only lose so many humans on this team. However, I say to that, well, he getting lit up in the pocket.
Yeah.
He getting knocked down in the pocket. He's taking rip shots. He's getting hit in the head. He's getting literally power drove. Yeah. So it's like, is he safer avoiding? Because he has the wherewithal to slide. He's not. He's intelligent.
Yeah.
So is he safer in the pocket or getting outside the pocket at this point? Because I don't think it's a huge difference. With how it would be different too if people wasn't coming off that right side scot-free, because they're getting free runs to him. What's different than him being in the open field? Like, you need to be able to open up your offense, and this is an element of his game. I mean, Lord have mercy, your red zone offense. I'm watching him on film read. He is reading that he should run, and he's not running.
Yeah. See?
That's not like him. I'm over it.
Yeah.
You said you can only lose so many humans. You can also lose so many games this year if you want to make the playoffs. So
I'm going to step on your toe because
Up next,
are we really doing
here
this?
on Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Jigsaw, the preferred dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
You funny.
The Dickey family always mandated that the only Polish-style sausage worthy of their restaurant must have high-quality coarse ground beef and pork, rich spices, and fresh natural casings. We still serve it to this day, and it's so popular, Dickey's sausage has been named the official sausage of the Dallas Cowboys. The perfect matchup on game day. Dickey's Barbecue Pit. No one outsmokes us. Order at dickeys.com. For groups, call 866-BARBECUE.
Dibs on the ribs.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
At Jigsaw Dating, we obviously want the Cowboys to bring that sixth ring home. But to be honest, we're more focused on finding the person who will put a ring on your finger. That's why we created a dating app that reveals your face through meaningful conversation, so you can date deeper. Because it's personality that matters the most, not looks. Join Jigsaw Dating today, dating partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
All right, boxing fans, witness the biggest boxing event in modern history at Netflix, and MVPs Paul versus Tyson and Taylor versus Serrano head to AT&T Stadium on Friday, November 15th, as the international superstar Jake Paul takes on the baddest man on the planet, the Iron Mike Tyson. And don't miss Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, long-awaited rematch for the undisputed super lightweight championship. Limited tickets are available now at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
When is it again?
November 15th, Friday.
I got to interview both of them when they were
they were there at the game.
Last month. That was awesome. Yeah.
I was
very cool.
How was Mike?
Oh, he
he
was good. You know, the first couple of questions, it was kind of
takes him a minute.
Yeah, just kind of canned answers, and then I asked him if he saw a comparison between NFL players and fighters in terms of the preparation during the week, and not only the physical toughness but the mental toughness and discipline in preparing for Sundays. And so he said, "You want me to answer honestly?" And I'm like, "Of course." And then he dropped an S-bomb, but then gave a really great answer, just talking about how how much he admired the football players because, not only is it all these 300-pound guys, but you can get hit from behind, you can get hit from the side. But yeah, actually, it was a very good interview.
Yeah.
All right, ladies, real
I'm a
fast
fan of
before
his,
we
so I
wrap
like
things
that.
up, I'm going to ask you guys, how many games? We're just going to talk 5 games. The next 5 games, how many games do you see the Cowboys winning? All right, they have the Atlanta Falcons up next.
That's
Philly.
Atlanta, Philly home.
Then they have the Houston Texans here. At Washington.
Nope.
And then New York here.
Yes.
How many games out of those 5?
What do I think they're going to get, or what do they need? I think you need 3.
I was gonna say you need
just
3.
to stay in the race.
But
I
how
think
many?
You need 3, but I think that
2.
How do you see them win? How many do you see they're winning?
2.
I
They're
see
not
2
better
as
than
well.
Washington or
Nope.
Philly. Oh my God, I want to throw
Stop.
up.
At
gonna
this
need
point,
therapy after
you get. I'm trying to be half positive, but
3.
hey, they had the chance in San Francisco.
Of course
and
they
did.
did.
And
At least they fought
the
hard
thing.
coming
Yeah.
back. I do
Yeah.
like seeing how they came back.
This Atlanta game is huge.
Yes,
I
it
really
really is.
wonder
and they're not
if,
bad on the road, the Cowboys. So they can.
That's right.
They can win this.
I really wondered, like Atlanta taking a peek, look-see at them. They are so confusingly fun, is what I tweeted. Is like they are just, and I'm telling you, I like to see teams figure it out.
Yeah.
I like to see teams. It's good for football. They're figuring it out. I want them. What we say, fail
Stop.
against us. But the Cowboys rather. But I just. This game this week to me is going to set the stage for a lot of stuff, and they're going to get a lot of looks that they've had trouble with on different sides. There's some things to take from this game, the San Fran game. I hate to say it. I hate to be that person, but there are some
There's some
things to
good
take
things.
from this game that you maybe could incorporate. I do think getting Rico Dowdle back is going to be big,
Yes.
and with there being a clear emphasis from Mike McCarthy, they're going to try to run him more because I think he can do
and stop abandoning the
more
run. That's your point. I want to use the run game.
And Atlanta has not been good against the run
No.
this year. They're allowing over 130 yards rushing per game on average. And so if there's an opponent where you might be able to get the run game going, even though they got Grady Jarrett, it could be this weekend.
Yeah. So I'd say if they can get the Atlanta game, I think they can win 3 out of those 5.
All right. Well, on that note, it's been fun, ladies.
Yeah.
It hasn't.
Tomorrow we're gonna be in good spirits again and bring some energy.
Spirit
We're
fingers.
talking week 9. All right, that's a wrap. For Aisha Morrison,
That's
Bonnie
funny.
Joe Laughlin, and Christy Scales. I'm Nicole Hutchison. We will see y'all back here tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!